inferentially speaking, obviously our odds increase some. There's 2 teams that aren't eligible. There's 4 teams that are. So our odds of being the division champions and going to the championship game in Indianapolis have increased. But the schedule hasn't changed. There aren't any buys on that schedule in regard to Big Ten play. The teams that aren't eligible, you still have to play those teams. They're good teams with lots of good players, and they want to do well too. So in the end result, it's going to boil down to what it always has, that's winning. And the team that wins the most in our league, in our division, that's eligible to go, that's who's going. So it hasn't really changed much in my mind, because it's going to boil down to winning, but our odds have increased some. That gives you maybe a little more momentum in some ways, if you will.
Yeah, Cliff Brunt, Indy Sports Legends. There is an expectation of success here this year that hasn't been here since you've arrived. There's a lot of swagger. How do you, manage that, considering the fact that they haven't done it yet?
We've always had high expectations here. It's just been a challenge. The last couple of years, we believed we could be a good football team if things went well for us. But it was thin. We're playing with a lot of freshmen and playing with the quarterback position with guys that hadn't played at all. But we always expected to do well, and I'm really proud of our football team. Sometimes when everyone else, or not everyone else, but when some people were giving up on us, we were still finding a way to compete and believe we could get it done. Even a couple of years ago, we had so many guys injured. I think the fact that we've been so close in the past and tried so hard and had overcome so much, but yet didn't get it done, would certainly keep everybody in a reality check. So the expectation level here has always been high. Anytime you follow a coaching legend, the expectations are high. Our football team always wants to, we're always going to go into the season with high expectations, regardless of where we're at. We're always going to be, from a mindset-wise, anticipating that we're going to win. But obviously this year we're returning a veteran football team, so it's the first time since I've been the head coach at Purdue that we have a potentially good football team coming back. Every year since I've been the head coach at Purdue, we thought we did a whole lot of things right. Potentially maybe we could have a winning season or a winning team. This year we potentially have a very good football team coming back. We have to get it done.
Reps at quarterback. You talked about reps earlier, and in terms of Rob Henry. How do you deal with that, getting everybody enough time, considering that you have 3 of them?
Coach Nord does a great job managing his players. I think the thing that's probably the most important part of where we're at the quarterback position are the guys in that position and how they've embraced the stage as it's set. Each one of those guys at one point in time been a starter here, and each one of those guys at one point in time had that taken away as a result of an injury or something that was unfortunate. So they've all been through it, and they're all pulling for each other. So Coach Nord rotates them and rolls them, and he gives them the reps that they need. We're able to keep their arms fresh and live doing that right now. But I really like the camaraderie part of our football team in that quarterback position. I think it's been exemplary for our football team. I tell our players all the time, and I believe that they've bought into it, but there's this natural phenomenon out there that the more you care about the team, the better player that you are. And I think that our quarterbacks have really exemplified that to our team. If you want to see some guys that want to win and that want to give, you look at that quarterback position. I think they exemplify that, and I think Coach Nord's done a great job managing those guys, but they're all pulling for one another. They all want to be the starter, but more than that, they want to win.
You ran the ball last year probably about 140 times more than you threw it. I understand that you're bringing in a new quarterback. Now that you have a veteran receiving core, you have veteran quarterbacks, are we to expect that Purdue will go back to throwing the ball more, or has Purdue become a running football program?
We're going to do whatever it takes to win. It's good to be in position when you feel like you can run the ball. That's what the defense gives you. That's what we have to do in order to win the football game. And it's nice to, again, to be in the position that where if you want to throw it, you believe that you can and you will. So we want to be balanced in our attack, but it's all said and done if we could. But sometimes the defenses that you face dictate what style of attack that you might utilize. So we'll do what it takes to win. If we have to throw it every down to win, we will. If we have to run it every down, we will. If I had my druthers, we'd be balanced. That's the best thing for us as a football team, and that's the hardest for the defense to defend. We have to defend both.
You mentioned being thin at the running back position. Rob Henry, I mean, is he a guy that you're looking at that spot?
Any position on our football team that allows him to touch the football, we're interested in that spot. Quarterback to all the punt returner.
The last thing is, last season against Penn State, against Rice, a few plays away. Last year could have been somewhat of a breakout year, given a play here, a play there. What makes you confident that this team this year will make those plays and get over the hump?
We're further ahead. We opened the season up last year, and a week before the opening game, we had already lost two of our starting offensive linemen. Kenny Blue was out of the mix, and Peter Dry was having a back issue. Even though he lost some playing time, there's a lot of times we didn't even know until after we went out there and warmed up whether or not he would be able to go. So it was all said and done. We were short two of our starting offensive linemen, which is tough to replace those guys. And then we were down to our third-team quarterback who hadn't hardly played in the game since he'd been at Purdue. So we started off a little bit slower on the offensive side of the ball, and we didn't start off as fast as I thought we would on the defensive side of the ball. I expect us to be way ahead from where we were at last year when the season began, from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint. So I anticipate us being in a position to win those close games.
Coach Mike Mayer from the Associated Press.